Okay, so the last thing that had happened was you guys had, or Leonte rather, had activated this summoning gate before really giving it a good read, and fused Cecilia Agnes with an abyssal demon and a bunch of plant matter, and unable to bring her to her senses, he, or she rather, used a compulsion spell to bring her back in and fuse her with Enric Alum. So what you guys have before you now is this kid who is half Enric, a quarter Cecilia, and a quarter abyssal demon.
Shit, that must be confusing.
Yeah, that kid has no idea what's going on because the last thing he remembers is walking into the fog outside the house.
I just want to be like, Leonte, this is your problem.
And Leonte is just like kind of shaking her head, and she's like, well, this is better than, well, what Cecilia was before.
Well, at least this is better than being a ghost.
They were meant to be dead.
True. Like, she has a body now. We could give the other kids bodies too.
I like your Jacob impression.
She does sort of speak with like that, well, like this higher tone of voice. Slightly annoyed all the time with these fucking humans.
Olivier shrugs. I want nothing to do with these.
Do you guys want to give the other kids bodies?
Is Heinrich even, like, there?
Enric is there, but he's disoriented. And this entity here is only partially Enric. It is basically a new personality that has been mishmashed from these other three and a bunch of plant material.
Hello, bonjour. Do you know where you are?
And it says, bonjour. And he sort of looks around this room, which is empty, except for a shattered table that Cecilia had destroyed. And he says, I don't know where this is. I'm in a room somewhere. He sort of looks
You
over
don't
at
remember
guys.
anything, do you?
Well, Enric remembers you guys, and he says, the last thing I remember is walking into the fog. With Amy.
Yeah.
Who's Amy?
Amy was... This
The
ghost.
contorted one?
Do y'all see this artwork?
No.
Here, let me see.
Bring it to the player layer.
Are we supposed to be saying something? Nada. Oh, there she is.
Oh my god, the ghost!
Me. Hunter, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Oh shit, sorry. So basically, what Jacob had been proposing to you guys is that you give all of the kids these plant bodies to basically bring them to life and get them out of their perpetuated state. But then you're gonna have a bunch of plant children.
The co-inhabitants of this town, an old lady and these plant children. Oh man.
And as far as you guys know, Agatha has never shown any sign of being aware of these child ghosts. I think you guys had questioned her about it before, and she was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Leonte, is this what you want to do? Like little more tree children?
You want to make more of these?
Well, I think it's okay now. I had crossed out the writing that calls upon the abyssal plane. So as far as I know, we're just making them new bodies.
Olivier just kind of shrugs.
Alright. Bring the other kids here.
And she says, okay, here goes nothing. I'm gonna need some more plant material in the middle there, Thorvald.
Alright, summon more vines.
Okay, so he is going to start pulling in the rest.
What would happen if I pour the little bit of blood in there?
They would just be slightly like organic, or they're all organic already, but they'd have just that teeny tiny little red. They would have that teeny tiny little bit of meat, just a few drops of blood in there.
Oh wow, the red vines look creepy.
Right. Yeah, I think this will help, maybe. She nicks her finger and puts a few dosages of blood. Hopefully it doesn't become a carnivorous plant.
Just put some fire in there too. Oh.
Feed me, Seymour.
Feed me, Seymour.
Okay. So she is activating this circle. Whoop. Okay, she is going to bring in some of these other kids. Give me 1 sec. This one will be Amy. And then doing the ritual again, Leonte is going to pull in Hugo. But aside from these two, I think all the others are dead.
I know.
Like, actually dead.
Probably better than being plant kids, but who knows?
Yeah, so you guys watch as these children get like, with a shriek, they're like dragged through the floorboards.
Ugh.
And Amy, Amy kind of like comes through the walls like sideways, having been pulled out from away from the house. She just like flies into the center here before like getting morphed into this plant ball that produces this child. And same with Hugo. So what you guys end up with are these three not technically dryads, because they weren't created from dryads, but they are certainly like these plant-bodied souls that you guys have created using a summoning gate.
Can I roll nature on them to see if, like, I can see if they photosynthesize or, you know, eat whatever?
How do you eat? Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Or, like, yeah, I don't know. Hold on.
I conjured druid flame and set them all ablaze.
15?
Would you like to do that?
No. Wait, can I alter their growth using my druid craft? Like make them smaller or
Right?
younger
How
or
long
larger?
are they gonna live for? Like,
You can age their bodies, but not their souls. Whether or not that's cruel is up to your moral system.
I rolled a 15, BT dubs.
A 15?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Olivier, you are a pretty clever person. Looking at these bodies, you have no idea. They clearly have mouths, but they're also green, which means they contain chlorophyll. So
Chlorophyll? More like borophyll.
you like, yeah, you're not totally sure. They seem to certainly have the capabilities to eat. These bodies seem to be roughly in the shape of their original form. Which, Thorvald, sort of makes you wonder at what Leviticus's original form must have looked like. And you're kind of reminded of when Leviticus told you, like, I stepped through the gate of my own volition. So, congratulations, Covenant. You have 3 more child orphans.
Oh my god, you're right. All we do is collect orphans.
And these
That's how
are
my army begins. Orphan children.
not human orphans here.
Should we send them to Jarlsborg? Jarl. She can never say Jarlsborg.
Yarnborg.
Sean.
Yeah, Jarlsborg.
You're probably thinking of Drifeldur, which was like the Fey.
Oh yes, yes.
Leonte says, I could open a gate there. Or I could make a teleportation circle, rather. Do we want a circle in a place like this?
Yes, not in the material plane. Make sure it's someplace that Mazoon can't find.
She says, well, I'm sure I can just
Not
hide
here.
it. I could just hide it in a random building around here. But he does sense magic, so we want to be careful with where we put it.
Well, I do not know what a place like that might be, but it seems like he does not really like being in this house, so maybe it is safe to be in this house.
And Leonte looks over at the kids, and he goes, or she goes rather, well, kiddos, do you want to keep living in this house? And all 3 of the kids kind of look at each other, and they look around this house, and they know what room this is, but it's a lot dirtier than they remember, and they don't remember this circle being here. And the kids in general just all seem kind of disoriented and a little confused. For Hugo and Amy, they have fast forwarded, I forget the timeline on the house, but I think it's about 150 years. So,
A lot has
about 6
happened in
generations
the
or so.
world. It takes 3 days, yes, for this circle to be made. This teleportation circle.
And Leonte nods.
That might be enough time for them to get used to this world and their new bodies, but I do not know. If it has been hundreds of years, they may not. It might be too shocking.
Yeah, the kids in general. Like I said, I'm not too sure how these orphans would feel having bodies for the first time and like kind of snapping out of this like locked mindset. So Hugo sort of like raises a hand and he's like, I think what we should do is find the headmistress. She'll know what to do. And Amy kind of nods and Enric kind of nods and he's like, I guess we should find the old lady.
Headmistress.
Enric says the maid. I don't know why, but they call the maid the headmistress.
Where is this headmistress?
Enric kind of scratches his head and he says, I think she lives somewhere across town, but then he shakes his head and he says, but I don't know where.
Alright, let's get going.
We shall find this headmistress for you. You just stay here, be good children.
Okay. So you guys all head up the stairs. And are y'all taking the kids with you as well?
I guess we could.
Okay. So as you get upstairs, and once you guys are kind of all in this room here, let me move these 3 kiddos here, you are going to find the traveler
Well,
sort of standing in this room. Mm,
fuck.
and sort of feeling around the floor right here, having just seen Asuga but lost track of her. And she seems to be moving about the floor, and every now and then you guys kind of watch as she just like moves right through where Asuga is, but keeps searching blindly about the floor here.
It would seem Monsoon is still in the other.
I walk up to this
Well?
person. I walk up to the traveler.
The traveler takes no notice of you. And the three kids are just kind of like watching back here, curiously.
How is she looking at Asuga?
She can't see Asuga. She briefly saw, and you're able to kind of surmise this. She briefly saw Asuga here, and then Asuga faded away. And the traveler is just sort of searching this area to try and figure out what's going on.
I wonder why this one is after Asuga. Earlier, I saw them dragging her and taking her away.
The traveler suddenly like looks up from looking about the floor and kind of glances around the room here, suddenly seeing you guys. And pulling a crossbow out, he quickly fires three crossbolts into each of you. But as the crossbolt sort of flies towards you, it just sort of like right through you, and like hits the wall.
Olivier is kind of smile.
Do they come into our material plane?
They do not. They pass right through you.
Olivier, yeah, is gonna look at him and just crack a big grin.
And you watch as this girl frowns back at you.
Alright.
Suddenly, seeming to drop her guard, the traveler sort of steps forward to you, Thorvald, and like swipes a hand at you.
I like shake my head.
The hand passes through, and you watch as the traveler just sort of like she's looking in your eyes at one moment, and then in the next she's sort of like staring into the space where you are, and after a moment she just sort of like steps to where you were just standing, and she's kind of looking around the room, and she kind of moves over to where Olivier was standing, and kind of waves a hand back and forth, which it's passing through Olivier, but you can see the traveler is not looking at Olivier, but sort of like looking through her at the wall somewhere over here.
Alright.
Well,
Let's just go.
yeah, we know you're stuck here, so... I guess I'm gonna pick up Asuga too.
Okay.
Can't just leave her here.
Alright.
I might take her back to Port Hilden eventually and just put her in the Fox's Den or something. Make sure she's safe.
Just leave her somewhere.
Unless Leonte can like wake her up or something. Or do an Arcana check or something.
Okay. As you guys are sort of passing through this door over here. Let me move you here. You guys kind of make it to the other side of this door with the children, and the door closes loudly behind you. And you're able to hear footsteps as the traveler suddenly runs out into this hallway here and sort of looks around, trying to figure out where the noise came from. Move all these over here.
Ruh-roh.
Okay. And then you guys easily exit the house. Alright, and that's going to put you back in ruined Colmar here. And bring the kids in. So as you step outside the house, these kids are going to be sort of shocked as they see the city around them has long since fallen to ruin. All the trees are dead, and there's like kind of a nasty sort of gray pallor that just fills the area.
A lot has changed since you have been away. She just
Now do you
says,
see what we're talking about?
The kids are all kind of just like their heads are on a swivel and they're all kind of wide-eyed. And Enric sort of steps forward and he says, "Is this real?" And
sadly, we.
the kids are all kind of beside him too, and they're all sort of looking around, and they do seem to be in shock.
This is real.
This is how the world is. But there are cities and nice places. It's just we happen to be here, so.
The kids don't really say too much. They're kind of shell-shocked.
It will be okay. We will find you a safe place. No worries. But first, we will find this headmistress.
Okay. So the children all kind of follow you, kind of taking in the view around them. At this point, what time of day would it be? I think we're looking at about early morning to noonish, if I'm not mistaken. Agatha, when Leonte had sort of come this way before, was kind of cowering in her room, and she didn't bother going too far in with Muffin because the demons were visible. Which, now that you guys have kind of stepped outside, many of the demons have just sort of vanished from sight. And you don't really see too many now, with the very occasional sign of like a demon just sort of like slipping behind a corner or something as they move through the city.
Yeah, let us see how this woman is doing.
Okay. You guys sort of knock on her door, and there's like a pause and a shuffling before you suddenly like hear like the locks being undone. And this old woman sort of opens the door and says, "Oh, thank goodness you're here. Like, quickly, please, come inside."
We brought some guests.
She says, "Guests?" And then looking upon them, she kind of gasps and she says, "Witches, like, surely they must be the cause of all this horror."
No. You may have remembered them by different names. They are not witches. They are. She looks at Thorvald, like, what do I say?
They're the kids that you used to watch over.
And Enric steps forward and he says, "It's me, Granny." And Agatha sort of gasps. She says, "Enric?" And this plant creature kind of smiles, showing like these sharp, like wooden teeth. And he sort of comes forward and hugs her around the waist, and kind of surprised she's at this like strange plant thing that is embracing her. She kind of comes to terms and is like, "Oh my god." And she, looking over at you, Thorvald, she says, "How is this possible?"
I gave them bodies, but it wasn't just me. It was Leonte, or what's his real name? What's his human name? Lily.
Lily, yeah, kind of examining her nails, she says, "Well, technically I gave them bodies." And
Lily snorts.
And Agatha says, Are you a witch then? Are you
Witch is
here
a
to
strong
hurt us?"
term. Witch is associated with malevolence and maliciousness. I mean, not malevolence. Maliciousness. I am no witch.
And she says, sort of looking at you and looking at your strange garb, Thorvald.
He is like Plant Jesus.
Did you say Black Jesus?
No, Plant Jesus.
Plant Jesus.
I thought she said Black Jesus.
Well, I mean, maybe.
she doesn't really know who Jesus is, but as you communicate something akin to this, she's just like, oh, okay, he's basically a witch, but like a witch who's not here to kill me. And she asks you, Thorvald, like, are you the reason that all these monsters are in town?
No. The monsters are what I'm trying to stop.
We.
And she says, it's not safe outside. They're all over the place.
Not safe for them.
And,
You're trapped in here with me!
she says, are you here to help us then? And these children? These things?
If I must.
And looking over at Hugo and Amy, she sort of says, and who are you, little ones? And Enric sort of turns and looks at them and says, they're orphans from before. And Agatha sort of breathlessly is like, orphans? From the orphanage? That can't be. That was, well, long before I was ever born.
It is true. Their spirits were trapped in that house, and we released them.
Well, things are definitely strange with that house. Though I couldn't quite tell you what exactly is going on here.
Same.
She says, with all the monsters in the streets, we thought, or I thought rather at first, that it was the beast Shrakil, but evidently not. And with the tree outside that suddenly sprang up, she shakes her head and she says, none of this has ever happened before. I'm not too sure what's going on here, but I know it's not safe, even if, and she sort of looks at Thorvald and continues, even if you are a good witch.
We can give you means to move to a different city if you like. However, there's something going on in this world that you must take care of, or nowhere will be safe.
And she shakes her head and she says, I'm afraid travel's not possible.
Why is this?
The beast in the north has expanded his territory, and I haven't been able to leave town since. There's no way I could cross through the swamps on my own.
We have a shortcut.
Beast in the north.
And she describes to you a creature that lives out in the swamps to the north. Let me see if I can get you guys here.
I think maybe I will slay this monster.
She describes it as this large, monstrous beast that just sort of like attacks like carriages and traveling like supply shipments in and out of town, and just does horrible things, like eats the animals pulling the carriages and just sort of strips the skin off of the people who try to make a run for it.
I think this would give me great pleasure to kill this beast.
She shakes her head.
Shrek? Shrek like Shrek?
Shrek like Shrek.
Shrek.
Shrakil.
Ogre.
Shrek for sure.
Ogre my dead body.
She says, I wouldn't dare cross the swamps. Even if you've got some sort of capability. It's far too dangerous for a group this small.
Well, we made it here, and I am telling you, we have a shortcut.
And she says, if you have some kind of shortcut, I'm open to options. I've been stuck in this city for a very long time.
Really? You just need to give us 3 more days, but where is a remote part in this town that no one would stumble upon?
A remote part of town that nobody would stumble upon?
Really for safety.
I mean, there are various places near the wall that are just like kind of way out there that nobody's really gonna bother. Certainly not a mere 70 feet away, but probably anywhere along the walls or like kind of maybe out in the woods this away.
Okay, yeah, I was just thinking of Monsoon.
Yeah, let's go to that place in the woods, I'm guessing.
Okay. And you guys are gonna have Leonte make a portal from there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like where I'm pinging right here. I think this will be a good place.
Okay, in the middle of like that orchard over there?
Not in the middle of the orchard, in the house.
Oh, inside the house? Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I will put one there.
Mhm.
There it is.
Portals everywhere.
You guys are making tracks.
And in 1,000 years, nobody's gonna know what they are.
You're gonna be like, what are these things that have persisted throughout time and are still glowing with light? Oh, it's just a teleportation circle, kid.
Where am I now?
Okay, so you guys are putting it basically in the middle of this house back here. Just
Yeah.
stick it right there. Okay. So, you guys are taking these kids to Drifeldur?
I mean, that might be the easiest place for them to be since they're tree people. Right? 'Cause there's other, like, magical fey creatures there too, right? And stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might be the easiest place for them to blend in and feel safe and whatever.
Okay. When you guys go here, Leonte, having some business in Port Hildian, is going to elect to go there instead and meet up with you guys whenever you should get back. I will move you all there.
So yeah, let's go to Drifeldur.
Okay. So arriving in Drifeldur without Leonte, you guys make your way back to town. You see various creatures sort of walking about town. Let's see if I can pull out some of the art for y'all. And it appears that these are the new fey creatures that sort of populate this area. And it's a sort of humanoid-looking race with like these kind of like large flat noses and these almost kind of cow-like ears. But you don't recognize these people, and as you kind of walk in, they all kind of pause and look at you. Kind of give you guys the eye as you're walking in. And these kids who are all kind of following you are marveling as they sort of look around.
What the fuck is this?
It's a four-armed, like, moth woman who's sort of eyeballing you guys back as y'all walk past her.
Olivier just stares, like, what?
What happened? This is like that episode in Super Jail.
And she, like, gives you a wink, Olivier, as you pass by, and kind of waves at the kids with her forearms.
Olivier's eyebrow raises. Oh. Might have to go back to that.
And all these kids kind of like follow you. As you like pass by this group of these creatures who are all kind of talking, they kind of like give you an eye.
smiles at them.
They kind of all like kind of smile and kind of nod at you, and suddenly becoming mindful that they're staring and being rude, they kind of like go back to their conversation, which is in a language
Punches in face.
you guys don't recognize. Olivier, you hear it in Sylvan.
What are they saying?
You kind of
As we walk by, or as we leave.
You kind of hear one of them say it quietly, like, "Well, that was a little strange. Where'd they come from?" One of the other ones is like, "More humans. They're probably with the others, or that old man."
Old man.
And
Oh yeah.
And the kids are all kind of following you here. As you guys
Olivier.
get to this area, you see before you a large, like, hulking skeletal figure with these sort of like antlers that branch outwards.
I brace myself like as if like an enemy or whatever.
It looks somewhat similar to the undead you've seen before, Thorvald. And as it
Like I have my staff and shield ready.
As it turns to face you, it sort of just like gives you a slow nod.
Do you know this
kind
person?
of like goes back to. It seems to be standing watch here, and it's just sort of like watching out this way.
Well, that's weird. Who made that?
Olivier, you have seen these before. Once, only briefly. Deep in the abyss, when you and Leonte were about to become overrun by a dark beast nest.
Olivier will say that aloud, be like, "Oh, this seems familiar."
Where have you seen this before?
I think maybe it was in the abyss, but there was a lot of panicking and stuff happening. But I am pretty sure that this is what I saw down there.
Hold that thought. My pizza is ready. I'll be right back.
Hold that thought. I have pizza.
What is this pizza?
I'm gonna grab some ice water. Okay.
Him talking about pizza makes me want food now.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry too. Pizza sounds pretty good. I think I've still got a little bit of pho. I don't think I can eat that quietly.
It has food that I have to make and will take too long, so not the best while playing D&D. Guess I can make a sandwich. But I do have chicken and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I think tonight we're having like lemon chicken with sweet potatoes and green beans.
Nice. I cook a lot of like pork chops with like asparagus and mushrooms and onion and stuff. Squash.
That sounds pretty damn good.
Definitely can be. I like the rub sage on my pork chops. It just sucks because sometimes if you overcook it, it gets like too fucking dry and it's like, well, shit.
Yeah. Dry pork chops are not very nice.
Mm-mm.
Do not enjoy me chewy pork chops like that. I guess all pork chops are a little chewy, but like little leathery ones.
Hey, kid! I'm a computer! Stop all the download!
I'm gonna mute myself and go get some food real quick.
Yeah, sure thing.
But I will be here.
Sure thing.
I could eat this pizza now, but I would burn the roof of my mouth off, so I'm gonna wait. Yeah, it's not worth eating skin for the next 2 days.
Jesus.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
It was in the abyss.
What's all these bug people? This is just like that Super Gel episode where like they'll have sex with that one bird and become bird people. Remember that dude who didn't talk and his bird was like on his shoulder?
Yeah, and he like would fly away sometimes or whatever.
Yeah.
With like the sunglasses or something.
Yeah. You couldn't see his eyes. But like, it was the Time Police episode where like the bird happened to be the only female in Super Jail, so they all have sex with it. Create like these hybrid human bird people.
I love that show so much.
That sounds a lot like Super Jail.
That's what the tattoo on my forearm is inspired by / from.
Yeah.
Yeah, from one of the opening crawls.
Yeah. It's like the cloud people that get like that shooting star that go through them or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna be on mute.
Have you ever had deep dish?
Yeah, I love deep dish pizza.
Like specifically Illuminati's?
Illuminati deep dish.
No, it's Lou Malnati, not Illuminati. But yeah, it sounds pretty close, so I mean, I understand that. It's
No,
like,
I can't say that I have.
Really damn good. It used to be Chicago, but I know they have locations elsewhere now.
Okay, I decided to go outside first, so. But I have a laptop, so I can bring it with me.
Hell yeah. Alright, so, as you guys are all kind of here, the door... Whoopsie, I did not do that, and that needs to be done. There we go. The door to this house suddenly opens up, and Fritjolf, who I see is actually still named Street Rat here, from way back in the day.
Right? You just never shake that title.
Fritjolf comes running out, waving at you guys, like happy to see you guys. He's like, hey.
Fritjolf, bonjour!
He says, bonjour, Olivier.
She's like genuinely pleased to see him.
And he's like, I'm so glad you guys are back. Are you finally done?
Unfortunately, there was much more evil to conquer in this world, but we are back from our latest adventure, and we brought more family friends.
As you say this, he kind of looks past you and sees these three kids who are all kind of like shyly like looking at him. And he's like, those things?
They are souls too.
I helped to make them.
Make them?
And Lily.
Out of plants.
At this point, you hear Avina say, Thorvald? Olivier! And she kind of steps out from behind you guys and is coming out the door. And then
Bonjour, mon chéri.
From behind her, you see Venhold sort of emerge from here. And both of you guys make me an insight check.
Is insight wisdom or no? What is that?
Yeah, insight's wisdom.
19.
19.
Hold on. I rolled a 16.
16.
Mm.
Okay. Both of you, as soon as you see sort of like the dark circles under his eyes, and Venhold sort of like looking at you, frowning, both of you realize something's not right. And Venhold says, Thorvald, Olivier, is Leonte with you? Or is
No.
Lily with you?
She had to stay behind.
He says,
What is the
see.
matter?
He says, matter? What? Nothing's wrong. Thorvald, make me an insight. Actually, Thorvald and Olivier both make me an insight check.
15.
18.
18? Okay, Olivier, you see it too, but Venhold is sort of giving Thorvald a look, like let's speak in private kind of look. And he says, he sort of looks, his eyes shift to you, Olivier, and he's like, nothing's wrong. He says, haven't slept much lately, that's all.
It would seem that way. Maybe, Thorvald, do you want to chat with him and I shall go look around the town?
Avina kind of gives you a hug, Thorvald. And she's kind of looking past you guys at these three kiddos over here.
They are new friends?
We're looking back at them with yellow eyes.
Long time no see.
And he says,
Again, you get worried.
He says, it's good to see you again, Master.
Master?
I need to speak with you.
Alright. Let's go inside.
Or, I don't know what sort of title you've taken on as his teacher.
Sensei.
I don't know, if he wants to call me master, that's fine. It just sounded weird.
Well, that's just what they call the guild masters back in Port Hildian. So if you have like a teacher, you're like a master so-and-so. Coming inside the house, you kind of call him inside and like, let's speak privately, and Venhold says, Thorvald, Leonte, she's betrayed us.
What?
And he sort of shakes his head and he's like, I can't explain it. It's like it was just taken away, but a few nights ago. And he shakes his head and he says, I remember everything. And he sort of looks up at you with troubled eyes, Thorvald. And he says, back after my father was killed, I tried to track down the person who was responsible. And in doing so, I found the person who sort of led them back to the base, a man named Hjalmar. And he says, we thought there was a rat somewhere in the Merchant Union, and we were trying to figure out who it was. And so I set up a letter thinking that the people responsible were a group known as the Outlanders. And he sort of gives you a nod like you should be familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And he says,
Go on.
He says, so I sent a letter to the Fasteners, attempting to set up a meeting, but the one who showed up instead was Lily.
What?
And he says, I followed her through a warehouse, and I fought with her there.
Okay, wait. Pause. Okay, so I'm guessing because of his distrust for Lily, his memories came all back kind of like screwed up.
No, because of Leonte's dark magic, or her wild magic, his set of memories has returned but altered. And so what he is describing to you now is the warehouse fight, but he only remembers Lily being there. And he tells you...
pouting and like not fighting and stuff?
Hmm? No.
Does he
no,
remember Lily?
no. No. But he tells you like during the course of the fight, she broke my arm, and he says, remember how you had fixed it, and I told you I didn't know what had happened. And he says, well, I followed her back to an event at the performance center that night, a battle of the Bards. And he shakes his head and tells you, Thorvald, she's way stronger than she's letting on with us. I don't know why, but I think she's playing us. Whatever happened that night, she and that Yolo Swaggins guy, they're responsible for that tree. I can't explain it, but it was all gone, and he sort of and as he's saying this, Thorvald, you are watching as like roots are kind of like spreading throughout the floor beneath his feet, and they're quickly like fading to like a dead gray as he's telling you this.
I wonder if he's like, this is why he's unable to like. Is this why he's unable to like fully embrace his druidic ability because of him not knowing the actual truth?
As he's sort of telling you all this, the roots are like kind of snaking up the door frame, and you see like the black circles under his eyes, and you sort of recognize this murderous look in his face. And he says, she's been lying to us. She's been lying to me the whole time. She's responsible for everything, Thorvald.
Are
She's
you
a killer,
sure?
a traitor. And he nods and he says, I'm positive. I saw her with my own eyes. The person you killed, I don't know who it was, but they couldn't have been the right person. She's the rat.
This is a very heavy accusations.
Dun dun dun.
He shakes his head and he says, I haven't slept in days. I can't sleep and I'm stuck. I'm here on this island. I have to find her.
Well, she isn't with us right now. We kind of lost her.
And he takes his hand and he smashes the wall and he says, well, then we've got to get back to her.
We thought she would be here. But she's not.
You sort of watch Thorvald as a root kind of like grows off the wall, and it's kind of growing out of the wall as like a sharp point. Roll me an insight check.
Oh, nat 20.
Sorry.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay. Wow, nat 20 is perfect. Okay. So, what you're seeing, Thorvald, is that with the spike in his emotions, he is using his druidic power, but he is overdoing it. And he's producing these plants rapidly, but he's killing them in the process of doing so. But in general, looking at Venhold, it seems that he is fully intent on revenge.
Can I speak to Leviticus without him actually like appearing? Like, can I try and speak to him internally?
You don't know.
Venhold, look at your feet.
Looking down, he sees like the withered, dead roots, and he's almost like a little ashamed, like realizing like this is fueling his power. And he says, I know I'm supposed to attain balance. And he says, but I can't. And he looks at you, and you see in his eyes like there is there is that murderous desire for revenge, but there's also so much pain to, like, an urgent need to kill this person.
I understand. I know what you're feeling. We can track down Lily and get to the bottom of all this.
And he sort of shakes his head and he says, I don't think we can take her. Not after what I've seen. She's
I know
totally
our weaknesses,
different.
and we know other people that want her dead as well.
And he's just kind of quiet. And he says,
Perhaps we can find this man, Mazoon, and consult with him.
and he sort of nods. Olivier, what have you been doing out here? The kids are all kind of, sort of, talking to each other, trying to get to know each other. And Fritjof and Avina are, like, very curiously and somewhat rudely inspecting the faces and bodies of these other kids here.
Probably told them to be nice, but probably wandering around town, checking out all the new people and listening in on what's happening.
Okay. You definitely get a few eyes as you're sort of walking around town from just like these different fey creatures. And some of them are looking, kind of studying like your face and like your body, and then some of them are kind of fixated on your arm. But everybody's kind of staring at you as you're walking through this town here.
So is it like a bunch of new strangers, or is there like
Yeah,
people that...
they're all strangers.
I guess... I can't remember, did we establish this city?
Leonte had Nadeliani, presented a very persuasive argument as to why you guys should use this place as a Fey outpost. So these are like creatures from other dimensions, basically the Fey dimensions.
Oh.
And they're all sort of like vacationing here in the material realm.
I guess if you want to learn anything, you go to the bar, right?
Yeah. If you want
She's
to.
gonna go... Yeah, she's gonna go grab a drink and try to figure out what's going on in the town. And what better way to get information than drunk people?
Okay.
And she can enjoy a drink.
Alright, so where are you going?
Whatever their tavern is.
Alright, so I guess that would probably be the inn here. So assumably you enter from one side or another here, either this one or this one.
Whichever one is closest.
Sure. Okay, so you come through this door here, and as you enter, the conversation kind of like lurches to a pause. I'm gonna put a couple of these guys here. And these two like little sort of like wood nymph creatures are kind of eyeballing you. And as you're looking at them, you see like they barely fit the chair. They're both just kind of like standing on it at full height. And these two large, sort of like humanoid-esque creatures are kind of looking at you as well. And after a moment, this older looking one sort of like steps in holding a tray. And there's like an awkward pause as you guys are like looking at each other, and he says, if you speak my tongue, go ahead and take a seat anywhere.
She's just gonna take a seat. Let's see. I don't know, wherever closest to the bar would be, or like at the bar, or maybe right here, or by the fire. If there's a fire.
Okay, so you come and you